And welcome to my presentation on Greek numerals. I'm Cassidy Wiltrout, and today I will be covering the history, what they mean, and how to interpret them into our normal English numerals. First up, I'll be doing the culture and the history. I will be answering where this culture was located, both geography and in time, and basically showing the main source of impact. The main portion of the Greek numerals is obviously in Greece, and it started in the first millennium of BC. And because Greece has so many islands, each one wanted to be different than the rest of them, and they had their own system, and it wasn't regulated until much further on. And due to the sheer amount of islands, regulation took a long time, and the alphabet actually came into play with the regulation. So now I'll start going over their actual symbols and what they mean, and how these numbers came about. The first system that kind of became regulated was the fact that it was based off of the first letter that each number was named after. So like 5 was pente, and that first letter was obviously a P, so they would use the symbol for a P. Deca for 10, so they used a delta symbol, which is the triangle there. Hecaton for 100, so they used the H, and so on and so forth. And when it came to doing each symbol, they mostly did bases of 5s, and they made it fairly simple and easy when it came to the counting and looking at each number. It was fairly obvious what each one was if it was written in the symbols, not the alphabet, which I will get into later. So as you can see here on the right, there was the single tally marks from 1 through 4, and then once you hit 5, it gets up to the pente symbol, and from there on, it's an additive property. So with the additive property, it was fairly obvious how to create these numbers and be able to get your point across and make it so that way you understood what number somebody was going for. But eventually, these numbers can become very cumbersome, and they would take up quite a bit of space. So for every so often an integer would be chosen, and they would combine symbols for them. Like 50 has the delta inside of a penta signal. 100 obviously already had its own symbol, but if you go up to 500, it has that H up into the 5 symbol, so that way you understood that meant 500. And then along with the X and the M, it will go up into the hood or the umbrella of the penta symbol and would allow it to be recognized as a new number or a new symbol. And they would be used to express the base numbers that were used for each one. As I said before, each island had their own symbols. They were all independent. They really did not want to be like anyone else. So because of these multiple symbols, even a simple number like 50 for us, which has a very obvious symbol, actually was multiple symbols for various islands. So you can see the first symbol on the left here actually was the symbol that was originally became the umbrella symbol for 50. But there was other forms that each island had taken for the same number. And the base numbers that they used were, in English, we usually use the 0 as our base. The base number for Greek numerals is 5, and they used powers of 5 when creating these new symbols. So because we base off of 10 or 0 in English, it's obvious that people would be wondering, is there a symbol for 0, and does it function the same way as ours? 0 is not used. It's mostly a placeholder in the English system. And since symbols for each number that would contain a 0 are a new symbol altogether because of the power of 5, and there's no placeholder symbol because symbols are combined and made easier to understand and to read, and to make sure that you're actually understanding things, then it's not cumbersome. So they did not include a symbol for the number 0. So now I'm going to teach you how to translate from these Greek numeral symbols, not the alphabet, the symbols, to our English numbers, and basically just giving you a translation. So on the right I have the American numbers and what their symbols are, which is the acrophonic column, and then there's the alphabetic column, which is basically giving you the Greek letter that would represent what each number starts with. But obviously, if I were to do the Greek letters, the alphabetic version of all of these, it would be hard to create an easy form for everybody to understand. So I decided to break it down into the various obvious symbols. So 1 obviously has the tally mark, 10 has the triangle, which is actually called a delta, and 25, using the additive property, is the 2 deltas and then a penta symbol. And unlike Roman numerals, it's hard to find these on your keyboard, so you actually have to get a specialized system to be able to enter them. So due to the non-existence of 0, math is actually fairly easy in this system when creating a number. They use symbols to create sets. So like a delta stands for a set of 10. So like if you had 10 M&Ms in a bucket, you would symbol it with delta. So if you do 2 deltas, that's 20, and then because you added the penta symbol, that would make it 25. And these combinations of symbols are what create the larger numbers for them, and create an easy way to show what they are dealing with. Sources for both my images and my information, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you.